I'm so grateful that so many of you have commented on my last couple of videos. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your questions. Thank you for liking the video. Thank you for sharing it with others. I truly believe that the material I'm sharing with you has the potential not only to transform your world, but to transform the world. I believe that the information in these videos has the potential to transform anyone's life and to help them create the life that they always dreamed of deep in their hearts. In these videos, I'm helping you understand how to learn to trust yourself, how to learn to trust your inner wisdom, how to learn to follow your inner guidance so that you know what steps to take in life. I've been helping you understand how to quiet the inner critic, the voice in your head that causes you to doubt yourself, question yourself, and hesitate on taking massive action in life. I've been helping you understand how you created this character or false identity you pretend to be, and how you can unbecome your false identity so you can discover and become your true, authentic, higher self. See, my name is Ricky Goodall, but that's not really who I am. That's just the identity I created to fit into the world. Who I really am, I tell myself, is God, creator, or conscious universe manifested as a higher self or a child of God pretending to be Ricky Goodall. When I live life as Ricky, I live limited by his fears, failures, and limiting beliefs. But when I live life as my higher self, I become limitless. And that's what these videos are about, helping you learn how to become limitless. In my last video, I talked about the pentagram symbol, the 5 classical elements, fire, air, water, earth, and ether, and how they are associated with the 5 dimensions of your being. The spiritual dimension, the mental dimension, the emotional dimension, the physical dimension, and your ethereal dimension, or your consciousness. I talked about how your external world, the world around you, is a reflection of your internal world. I talked about how your external world is a reflection of your emotions, your beliefs, your thoughts, words, and your actions. I talked about how your core programming is stored in your 5 dimensions, how your fears are stored in your spiritual dimension, how your beliefs, thoughts, and language patterns are stored inside of your mental dimension, how your emotions like sadness, grief, regret, embarrassment, guilt, shame, and so on are stored inside of your emotional dimension, how your toxicity, your tension, and your inflexibility is stored inside of your physical dimension, and how your ethereal dimension, or your consciousness, exists in one of 2 states, either in a duality consciousness, where you and your world are separate, or unity consciousness, where you and your world are one. I talked about how you can actually reduce or release the programming inside of these 5 dimensions, allowing you to unify your consciousness so that you can become one with your experience of reality. I talked about how transforming the programming in your dimensions allows you to transform your experience of reality. I also mentioned how in this video, I'm going to share with you the 5 practices that can help you rapidly raise your consciousness and realign your programming with the life you've always dreamed of. So I'm going to show you another diagram, very similar to the diagram in the last video. And so if you remember this symbol, the pentagram symbol, it's associated with the 5 classical elements: fire, air, water, earth, and ether. I talked about how everything in the whole universe can be broken down into these 5 elements, and how you are broken down into these 5 elements. Fire represents plasma, which is the electricity or energy in your body and in the universe. Air represents the gases, including the oxygen in your body. Water represents the liquids, including all of the liquid and the water in your body. Earth represents physical matter, which includes the matter in your body and the matter in the universe. And then ether represents space, or the quantum realm. I also talked about how the fire element is associated with your spiritual body. That will be located right here. I talked about how the air element is associated with your mental body. The water element is associated with your emotional body. The earth element is associated with your physical body. and the ether element is associated with your consciousness. And so what I'm about to share here are 5 practices that I've discovered exist in some, if not most or all of the spiritual systems on the planet. Every spiritual system that I've come across practices at least one of these disciplines. But I tell myself that if you add all 5 of these disciplines to your life will transform rapidly. So let's go over those now. The first one is the one that many of us are familiar with, and that is prayer. Prayer is one of the most powerful ways to humble myself to a higher power. It's one of the most powerful ways to connect with a higher level of consciousness. Now you might say, well, I don't believe in God, or I'm not religious, or I don't really resonate with the whole idea of a God up in a cloud somewhere judging the universe or judging the world, and I'm with you. I don't resonate with that story either. But I've discovered that both scientifically and spiritually, it's proven that having a relationship with a higher power, even if it just exists in my imagination, makes me happier, healthier, and more successful. Having this humble relationship with a higher power that I communicate with on a regular basis allows me to get more connected with myself. Prayer works. Whether you believe in it or not, it still works. Just practicing prayer on a regular basis can transform your life. And for me, it looks like I pray to God, Creator, Conscious Universe. Again, you might not resonate with those particular words. You can use whatever word you resonate with. And I pray at least once a day, as soon as I get up in the morning, and usually before I go to bed. Prayer is associated with the spiritual dimension, the fire element, the life force energy in my body and in the universe. When I pray, I tell myself I connect with that life force energy, and I learn to direct it in the direction of what I'm asking for. Well, I pray in a very simple way. I just thank for all the things in my life, and I have so many blessings. Thank you for this home I get to live in. Thank you for my friends and family members. Thank you for good health. Thank you for abundance, prosperity, and happiness. And you might say, oh, I don't have any of those things. How can I thank for them? Well, I've learned that if I thank for things as if I have them, before too long, I have them too. The next part of my prayer is asking. I ask very clearly, can I have this? Can you please bless me with this? I'm asking for this. I'm asking for collaborations in my business. I'm asking for new clients. I'm asking for inspiration and wisdom. And then I'll usually finish with some more thanking. I'll thank for some more things that I'm very grateful for in my life. So prayer is the first practice. And the second one, I just noticed that I kind of wiped it out a little bit, but it's meditation. Meditation is associated with the mental body and the air element. Meditation is something that's completely transformed my life as well. I started meditating regularly in 2012. And I'll be honest, when I started, it was so difficult. I didn't think I was ever going to be able to learn. I was so irritated sitting there just breathing. I thought that I was supposed to stop thinking. But I learned that's not what meditation is about. Meditation is about being quiet. It's about sitting and being quiet. And when I think, which is inevitable, then I just go back to my breath or let the thought go. And I sit there and I deal with the discomfort of whatever thoughts and whatever emotions come up. That's really the secret of meditation. It's not about not thinking or having transcendental experiences or connecting with some mystical, magical higher power. It's just about learning to accept what is in the present moment. If I feel irritated and I wonder if what the hell am I doing? Am I wasting my time? Then just be with that. If I sit there and think this can't be working, I have so many other things I need to do, then I just be with it. Meditation is just about taking time to be with myself in silence with no agenda other than being in the present moment. Now, one of the things I like to do is try to relax as much as possible, try to breathe as deeply as possible, but that's it. Meditation can look like many different things. It could look like guided meditation, binaural beats, breath work, or the meditation I explained where I just close my eyes and breathe. Meditation transforms my mental body and helps me experience life from a whole other level of awareness. The next practice is confession. Now, confession is probably one of the most profound practices and maybe one of the most difficult practices on this board, at least for me. Confession means admitting all the things I've done that I'm not proud of. Confession means forgiving the people in my life who have caused me pain and suffering. Confession means being willing to ask forgiveness from the people who I've caused pain and suffering for. Confession can just mean admitting that I'm angry. It could just mean I'm admitting that I'm unhappy about something. It could mean just expressing myself. A confession is associated with the emotional body, and the emotional body is all about fluidity. It's all about water. It's all about allowing the emotions to move. I don't know about you, but for a lot of my life, I would just hold in all of my emotions. I would hold in my anger. I would hold in my joy and my happiness and my appreciation. I would harbor these emotions, and over time, those emotions would become stuck and I would become sick. Confession is one of the easiest ways to start practicing emotional release, getting the stuff out. Now, I don't have to confess to everyone in the whole world. I can just confess to maybe one person, or even just start by confessing to myself. One of the easiest practices for me is just writing down all the things I feel guilty or ashamed of and sharing them with another person that I trust. It can be that simple. If you've ever gone through the 12 steps, you know that confession is a huge part of that as well. If you've been through any spiritual systems or spiritual traditions, even systems like shamanism and the Peruvian Inca shamanism, the indigenous shamanism, confession is a big part of it. Sharing our intentions, sharing our pain and trauma, sharing the things we need to heal is a very important part of healing. Pain unexpressed becomes repressed and leaves me depressed. I have to let it out to let it go. Confession may be the most important part of this whole diagram that you're looking at here. The next one related to my physical body is service. Now, service can mean all sorts of things. Service can mean going to the gym and serving my body. It could mean donating or volunteering. It could mean doing gardening or working with nature. Service can mean cleaning up garbage on the side of the road. It could mean what I'm doing right now with this video. I'm serving you by sharing information that some of you are going to find valuable. Service is a fundamental part of the spiritual path. I have to be willing to serve before I receive. I can't go to a wood stove and say, you give me heat and I'll give you wood. Likewise, I can't go to a garden and say, you give me tomato plants and then I'll give you tomato seeds. I have to be willing to serve before I receive. And when I continually serve, then I allow that flow of abundance, that flow of health and prosperity and abundance and all the things I want to come to me. And that's why service is associated with the earth element. Service is all about my relationship with physical matter, my relationship with the planet, my relationship with nature. And so the last practice on this diagram is sacrifice. Now, I'm not talking about the crazy sacrifice where you have to whip yourself or you have to do any bodily harm or anything. I'm not talking about anything like that, although maybe that's your thing. No judgment. It's not really for me, at least not anymore. I used to be a professional mixed martial arts fighter, and I think I kind of loved pain a little bit back then, but that's not what I'm talking about. When I talk about sacrifice, I'm really talking about all of these other practices kind of molded into one. So the ether element, which is what sacrifice is associated with, which is our consciousness, actually encompasses all three of these other practices. And so sacrifice is really about my offering to God, creator, conscious universe, my offering to nature. When I meditate, I'm offering my time to my relationship with my breath, with myself. When I pray, I'm offering my time to my higher power. When I confess, I'm offering myself to the world. I'm sharing my true self with the world. I'm sacrificing my ego for the betterment of my higher self. That's really what sacrifice is about. So that can look like fasting. I typically fast on a daily basis. I fast for 16 hours. I eat for 8 hours. I usually do a 24 to 36 hour fast once a week or once every couple of weeks. It can also look like cleansing. Maybe it looks like taking a month away from chocolate or coffee, or some of those foods you really love. Or maybe it means going on a deep cleanse, like a parasitic cleanse or a heavy metal cleanse. Sacrifice can look like a silent meditation retreat for 3 or 5 days, just being alone with my thoughts and my breath in silence. Sacrifice can look like giving away most, if not all, of everything I own. It can look like facing my discomfort over and over and over again. Sacrifice is probably the most important of all of these practices because it encompasses them all. I know I said confession is probably the most important, and that's because sacrifice includes confession. Confession is a practice of sacrifice. It's sacrificing my ego. It's sacrificing my pride. It's sacrificing my guilt, my shame, my embarrassment, my need to appear perfect. When I sacrifice my ego, what I'm left with is my true, authentic higher self. And that's what we're going for here. Because the more you practice these disciplines, the more you're going to move from your inauthentic self, the fake, false character you created to fit into the world, up into your true, authentic, higher self. And from this place, I can create a world that's authentic to me. Remember, as within, so without, the ancient sages and alchemists tell me. My internal world creates my external world. So by purging my 5 dimensions, my spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, and ethereal dimensions, by practicing these 5 disciplines, prayer, meditation, confession, service, and sacrifice, by practicing these 5 disciplines, I can rapidly realign my programming. I can rapidly purge the parts of myself that are holding me back from experiencing the life that I truly desire. Thanks very much for watching this video, everyone. I'm so grateful that you're interested in this work. And I'll tell you, there's only one thing that can possibly hold you back from all of this content working for you, from the 5 disciplines working for you, from the content I'd shared in the other videos. And that's if you're surrounding yourself with people who don't get you. Jim Rohn said, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time around. So if you spend time around people that are broke, sick, unhealthy, unhappy, then you're going to be the 6th. But if you spend time around people who are healthy, who are thriving, who are vibrant, who are abundant, prosperous, and living from a high level of consciousness, then that's the person you're going to become. And so I've got a little surprise coming up in the next couple of days. I'm not going to share a lot about it right now, but I'm going to be opening the doors to my inner circle community, the Waymakers. The Waymakers is an inner circle community of extraordinary leaders and miraculous healers who are paving the way to heaven on earth. I know it's a big, bold claim, but we're not joking around here. We're creating heaven for ourselves, for our family and loved ones, and ultimately for the world by having the courage to dream that big. Now, doors open in 2 days. I'm only opening the doors for a very small number of people, about 25 in total, and registration's only going to be open for 10 days. I'm not going to share much more about it in this video because it's too soon, but please keep an eye out for my next video if you're looking to take your transformation to the next level. Aristotle said the mind has a mechanism of self-contradiction. So if you're somebody who feels like, geez, some days I feel like I'm there, I'm living at a high level, I'm living at a high level of consciousness, I'm living as my higher self, then before I know it, I'm crashed right back down again, then my question is, who are you spending your time around? Are you spending time around people that keep you remembering when you forget? Are you spending time around people that keep you awake when you fall asleep? Because if not, then no wonder we struggle. It's no surprise that I struggled so much in my life when I was surrounded by people who weren't contributing to my transformation. When I was surrounded by people who were still sleeping, who are still living in that forgetful slumber of ignorance of their own true nature, no wonder I was living there too. But since I've surrounded myself with people who are living at that new level, everything has changed, and I want that for you too. So please keep an eye out over the next couple of days. I'm going to send an email out. I'm going to share a video. If you're on my email list, you're already going to get that. If you're not, check out the link in the description of this video. If you're watching this video on YouTube, you can join the wait list, and I'll let you know when the doors open. Thanks very much for watching this video, everyone. Again, please let me know in the comment section, how does this material land for you? Which of these 5 disciplines are you already practicing? Do you practice prayer, meditation, confession, service, sacrifice? If so, let me know below. Let me know which practices. Let me know which styles of these practices that you implement into your life, and share anything else, any questions you have. I'd be happy to answer them. Thanks very much for watching, everyone. I'll see you very soon.